Hey guys, CPI today. We had some pretty good numbers to be honest. We had a negative 0.1% month over month CPI. We had a core month over month of 0.3, a year over year CPI 6.5%, and then a core CPI year over year of 5.7%. Pretty much came in exactly at expectations. I mean, pretty much literally exactly what the forecast was is what it came in, which is pretty surprising. That honestly doesn't happen too often. Usually there's at least a little bit of a variance on at least one of the readings. These were all beats besides core month over month. It was a small increase. So it's kind of surprising in a way that markets decided to open flat today. With that, those numbers are very good, and this is the first negative month over month reading that we have had since June of 2020. I would have expected more of a push up today, but we had a really flat open, and markets I think are still on edge of where they want to go. Tomorrow, a big thing to note is we do have bank earnings, some of the first big earnings coming in. We have we have JPM coming tomorrow, Wells Fargo, looks like BlackRock, Citi, I think, and a few others coming in. So something definitely to keep an eye on. I believe those should all be pre-market. So let's look at where we ended today. So we did come down here and we did end up testing 392.3 support. We did hold that. But the biggest thing that happened today is that we did reject at this daily 200 EMA. Tons of price action happened right here today, but in the end we fell back down. However, despite a lot of the day that was spent in this 395.5, also this is more of a continuation candle than it is a rejection candle. If this was a big gravestone doji, kind of like something like this, or even something like this on the upside, I would expect more of a downside tomorrow, but this looks more like a continuation. We basically came back down, tested some support, and then we actually made a new high and closed green. The issue is that we could not get through this daily 200 EMA. However, as you can see, most times we touch the 200 EMA, it is not a clear cut through it. So usually there's a touch and then a retrace and then we push. So be very interested to see what happens tomorrow with that daily 200 EMA. Other things to note here is that this is the previous 2020 bear market resistance line. So this is the line that basically would signal, or did signal before when we broke through it right here, that we were out of the bear market. I left it there just as an interesting point because once it's broken, it really doesn't matter anymore, but it'll be interesting to see where we trend along that. I need to update the daily still for the new one, which is up in this 405 range. So a couple things to note is the VIX had its lowest close today since April 5th. And if tomorrow it was to break below 18.45, that's a 40-cent drop really. It will be the lowest the VIX has been since January 13th of 2022. And that is tomorrow, exactly 1 year from the day. So I am watching for a bigger decrease down here on the VIX. We did close below 19.7. So most times, and I have them highlighted here, that we close below 19.7 starts the next leg up. You can see we come down, bounce, start the leg up, bounce, start the leg up, bounce, started the leg up, kind of short fell it here. So the question remains, are we in a bear market or are we attempting to break into a bull market? If we are in a bear market and you truly believe we are in a bear market, this bounce up below 19 on the VIX and this rejection of the 200 EMA right here is the most ideal long spot you can to open puts. Something like 30 to 60 DTE. And I would be kind of eyeing something down in this 370 to 360 range for a price target. However, now that CPI narrative, which honestly fueled most of this sell-off this year outside of rate hikes, is pretty much a non-factor until it rebounds sometime this year. And now that CPI came in good, there is a good chance that we're going to see a lower rate hike than was expected. So Jay Powell says he's not slowing hikes, which means we would get a 50. However, right now, there's actually about a 20% chance of a 0 basis point hike priced in for next February 1st meeting. Most of the pricing in is of a 25 basis point hike, and I think that is the most reasonable expectation we should have. So, but after that, there is a really good chance if CPI continues to come down that we could see just either 25 basis points for a while, or we could see them attempt to stop rate hikes and see what inflation's at. They did mention that back in the November meeting. So if all that is over, the big things that really drove, I mean, if you look back here at the 2022 market, the things that drove everything down was always CPI and FOMC meetings and rate hikes. Almost all of these are correlated somewhere in there with a bad CPI, an increase in the rate hike to 75 or 100 basis points. Everything is correlated. So now that we're out of that, I mean, as you can see here, we really, and this is the updated bear market resistance current line here is 404.9 for the end of the week. I mean, we are looking to start our next move up. I mean, if you superimpose this or projected this line over here, I mean, we could be seeing a small move up here. I still personally remain under the impression that we are in a 375 to 408 channel right here, as you can see, and that we're going to have some outliers in this 408 to 428, and that we're going to have some outliers in 363 to 375. I think majority of our price action is going to happen in this channel. With that being said, I am very interested to see where we close tomorrow. If we happen to close over 399, that closes over the daily 8, or sorry, this is the weekly 8, 20, and 50 EMA. If we were to close over 400.5, that would also be the 100 EMA. We would have an 8 over 20 crossover on the weekly. That would be extremely bullish. On the daily, a lot of the same stuff here. We had the 8 cross over the 20. The 8 will cross the 50 tomorrow. If we close over 398.3, which is the daily 200 EMA, we are closing over every EMA again going into a 3-day weekend. And I would be very bullish. I would be looking for 405.3. As long as we hold 390.1, which is the 100 EMA right here, I am more bullish than I am bearish. If we were to lose 390.1, I would be more bearish, and I would think that a sell-off is coming. Or if we were to have some sort of negative catalyst, which I just don't think we have right now. Looking at futures here, I think futures is far more bullish in its presentation. We did end up closing over the daily 200 EMA here on futures. We came down, we held support right here at 39.90 from yesterday, and we look like we're going to push. So this is the previous 2022 bear market resistance line, the one that was broken back here on previous CPI actually. Tomorrow, that resistance is right there at that 40.20 level, and the actual bear market resistance is at 41.25. So we had broken back into this consolidation range right here, which our low is 39.40, and really our upside is 40.95, but you could call a short upside here at 40.55. As long as we're trading within this level, and really as long as we hold 39.20, I am bullish going forward, and I do suspect that we are going to see an upside push. Looking at Tesla here, I mentioned yesterday I was very bullish on Tesla. However, I didn't want to play it because of CPI, because of this is what I was worried could happen. However, there's quite a few patterns going on here, but we finally broke out of this consolidation pattern. We actually did do it yesterday. We closed at 123.22, which is over the previous 123 resistance. So we are out of that channel now, and we closed at our third higher high. This is our fourth time we have closed over the daily 8 EMA. That has only happened one other time since this sell-off, this huge sell-off we have right now, started back in September. There's a lot of bullishness going here with this big bounce off the daily 8 EMA, and we are really in this bull channel. Tomorrow, we need to see if we can break out of this possible rising wedge at 128.4, and then we have the actual bear channel right here at 132 tomorrow. This blue bear channel right here actually dates all the way back to August. If we were to close over the daily 20 EMA, which will be right around 129 to 130 or 129 to 129.9 tomorrow, And especially if we can close over 132, which is the blue bear channel, I really do see some pretty good upside potential for Tesla. One of the biggest things here is you can see there's a very clear V bottom forming here on Tesla. We have been in this, on the weekly, it's more of a falling wedge, as you can see right here, since really the second week of August. If we can break through 135.8 tomorrow, which is pretty unrealistic, that's about a $12 day, or all we need to break through is 125 tomorrow, or next week, I mean, then we are going to see some upside. I really would anticipate upside at 150. I don't think there's enough strength in the market to get us back to the 175s. That would be a pretty impressive move up. But I'm very bullish on Tesla right now. We kind of already talked about the VIX, but biggest thing is here is we had a huge 10.67% drop today. The 8, despite trying to break out over the 20 here, is now clearly rejected down. We are in a very much so a downtrend pattern right here. My first support is right here at that 18.7. After that, I have 16.5. There's not been a lot of price action. As you can see, I mean, going back all the way to last January, there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, really 5 candles to close in the last year of trading below 19.6. So we're kind of in no man's land here, and this is the start, in my opinion, of the upside push to the high side of the consolidation channel that I mentioned. Other interesting thing to note here is how very bullish Bitcoin is. Bitcoin historically leads the market, in my opinion, and if you think about it, people are not going to go risk on to a risky asset like Bitcoin if they think there's a lot of downside. Bitcoin is actually back in its 18.5 to 20.4 channel now. This is the channel that we lost back in November. This was with the FTX stuff started in the November CPI. So crypto is looking fairly bullish. Closed back over its one. It's going to close over its 100 EMA also. So very, very interesting here on the crypto side of things. This also makes me fairly bullish going forward. So definitely going to be interested to see where markets can close tomorrow, and if they can keep up this bullish momentum. We are going to be at our 3rd green day in a row. So if we do get a 4th green day, I would not be surprised to see a pullback on Monday. All right, I hope you guys had a good day trading today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like to stay updated with my most recent videos. There is a lifetime Discord link there for you guys. If that one doesn't link, just go ahead and send me a message and I'll get you guys a new one. Some of the benefits of the Discord is there's a live trading, live intraday commentary. I also do an updated pre-market with support and resistance levels every day. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit.